The last step to completing my activist blog in this multi-step process was to write all 12 of my posts. I started with the first post, how to clean the dishes. It was a tutorial on basically how to clean the dishes to the boys when at the beginning of the year they were incapable of keeping the kitchen clean themselves. The next post was boys' bathroom versus girls' bathroom. In this post, it described how different each bathroom was as opposed to cleanliness and smell and just keeping it organized. The next post was We All Want to Be Healthy. In this, I used an article that showed 6 healthy living tips for college students, since it is very hard as college students to stay as healthy as we would living with our parents. In this, I described how each of us housemates applies to each of the tips and how maybe one of us or the other could use the tips to be more healthy. The next post was Listening, What We Do Not Do. In this, I described one of the arguments and how some of us should have listened to one another and we could have communicated better and the problem would have been resolved but instead we did not listen to one another. The next post was Hurricane Sandy, Inside and Outside. This described how when Hurricane Sandy hit us in Narragansett and how we lost power for a couple days and how it affected our house inside, not only on the outside. The next was Brothers vs. Boy Peers. At home, I grew up with 2 brothers, so I did not think that living with 2 just boys that I go to school with would be any different, but this describes how different they really are. The next post was To Throw a Party or To Not Throw a Party, and this described how each housemate felt about throwing a party at our house, and how some of us did not want to and how some of us did want to. Next post was TV reservations and described how one housemate may use the TV a lot more than others, but as long as we just communicate to each other when we want to watch a certain show or movie or football game, we just need to tell one another and there will be no problems. The next post was trash pickup, and this described how we had an issue with our landlord where the trash was all over the yard and also it was not being cleaned inside, which was making some of the housemates very angry because the other ones were not doing their part taking the trash out. The next post was sleep schedules, and it described how each one of us sleeps very differently based on our class schedules or work schedules, etc., and how we each adapt to each other's sleep schedules to respect one another. The next post was 'Tis the Season. It told a story about how we all took the time together and got a Christmas tree for our house to make it seem more at home than it already has, being here for 4 months. It really showed how we've grown since the first post where it was mostly not getting along, and now we've been bonding a lot more. The last post was What a Great Semester It Turned Out to Be. It described even more how much things have changed since we moved in September and now are leaving for winter break in December.